Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. It's that time. I'm going to do our college football best bets breakdown. We're going to go over all of our top 25 games. We're going to try to predict the outcome, the winner, loser, final score, but we'll mainly be focusing on the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. First things first, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Drop your comments down below. Let me know who you think is going to win these games. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, make sure to check out that pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. Sorry if my voice is just a little off for this video. I am currently sick, but I want to make sure to get this video up. The very first one that we're going to be focusing on is actually a Friday night game, 7:30 p.m. this coming Friday, October 10th on ESPN2. Number 24, welcome back to the top 25, the USF Bulls, 4-1 versus the 5-0, the undefeated University of North Texas. This team is rolling right now, running the air raid, and they're slinging the ball up and down the field. Right now, North Texas, 53.4% chance to win. USF, 46.6% chance. It's North Texas, 1.5 point favorites. The over-under is 66.5. That's a high one. Vegas sees a lot of points being scored. South Florida, they're even. The Mean Green are minus 120. Looking at these teams, both these teams have very good offenses. Both can throw it, both can run it. Looking at USF, they're averaging 36.2 per game. Throwing for 257, running for 189, giving up 22.4 points per game. The Mean Green, 44.8 points a game. This team, they have a very good offense. Throwing for 257, running for 180, pretty balanced offense, giving up 20 points a game. Where I see things potentially going wrong, North Texas gives up 180.4 on the ground. You know the Bulls, and they love to run the ball. That's their primary method of moving the ball, is the ground game, the ground and pound. Sucking up the clock, controlling time of possession. Brown, 1,200 yards passing, 300 yards rushing. He's a mobile quarterback. He could be the difference maker. Maker, though, for the Mean Green, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. He has yet to throw a pick. He's an efficient quarterback. I think the Bulls here, even on the road, they have just enough run game to pull away with the win. They win at 37-34. Give me the plus 1.5, and I'm going to go with the over. Now, moving on to our Saturday matchup, Saturday, October 11th on Fox at 12 p.m., we have a ranked versus ranked matchup. It's going to be good. This is Big Ten football. Number one, the defending national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes, 5-0. This offense is rolling here, but it's the defense. It's a complete game changer. The number one defense in the country. They had the number one defense last year. They have the number one defense again this season. Completely changed both coordinators, and still everything's continued to chug along. Heartline, Matt Patricia, Ryan Day at the top. Right now, the Buckeyes are going to be playing number 17, the Fighting Illini, 5-1. This is the biggest game of Brett Bielema's time at Illinois. They have one loss this season where they got curb stomped by Indiana, but they rebounded by beating USC. This offense is rolling here right now. This isn't their typical defense. Usually they have a very sound defense. Not so much this season, but they're very disciplined, physical team. They have a 17.7% chance to win. The Buckeyes at 82.3% chance, 14.5 point favorites, 49.5 over-under. Ohio State, minus 750. Illinois, plus 475. People really aren't giving the Fighting Illini a real shot to win this game, but you got to take them serious. Right now, the Buckeyes, 37.4 points a game, throwing for 280, running for 172, only giving up 5 points per game. That's right, 5 points per game. Number one, 124 through the air, 91 on the ground. Great secondary. Caleb Downs holding things down. Great defensive front seven. The Fighting Illini, they're averaging 37 a game, throwing for 267. Running for 131, giving up 24 points per game. And when you look at this Buckeyes team, Sayan continues to get more and more comfortable. 80% completion percentage, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 picks. Jackson at the running back position really coming into his own. They are learning to ground and pound here. Jeremiah Smith, Ennis Tate, so many wide receivers, the best wide receiver core in the country. But Luke Altmaier on the other side, don't underestimate him. 12 touchdowns, 1,600 passing yards. Year 3 with Brett Bielema. He's been in this scheme for a while. The guy's a veteran. If it comes down to one drive, you know that he can win it. They have Valentine. They have Beatty closing in on 600 yards receiving. They might keep things close the first half, but I think Ohio State and their depth ultimately makes a difference. They win in the end. 32-10, they give up double digits. For the first time this season, they give up 10 points. They win it. They cover the spread, but I'll go with the under. Moving over to the SEC, ABC, 12 p.m. Number 8, the Alabama Crimson Tide, 4-1. They lost game 1 versus Florida State. Since then, they have been completely rebounding. Don't forget, Kalen DeBoer, he finally got Grubbs back. Grubbs is his guy. That's the offense he wants, that deep vertical passing game. Ty Simpson really coming into his own right now, really starting to sling the ball up and down the field. This is a pass-first offense. I want to see them concentrate on the run just a little more, but so far, so good. You can't complain about the results after week 1. They'll be on the road versus number 14, the Missouri Tigers, undefeated 5-0. They want to let the SEC know they are here. Back-to-back 10-win seasons. Drinkwitz, get the most out of his players. They lost Cook. They lost Burden. They've completely replaced those productive veterans. Right now, Mizzou at home, 36.6% chance to win. Bama here, 63.4. Bama did shut them out last year, but it's 2025 right now. Alabama 3.5-point favorites, a 51.5 over-under. Missouri plus 140. Alabama minus 165. Ty Simpson, 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jam Miller's back. I want to see that run game get going. They have Bernard. They have Ryan Williams. They have a very deep, talented wide receiver core. On the other side, Missouri, they stole Probola away from Penn State. Penn State would probably love to have him back right now. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. They have Hardy closing in on 800 yards on the ground. How is that even possible for the first 5 games? He has 9 rushing touchdowns. Coleman closing in on 400 yards receiving. This Bama offense since week 1, it's been rolling 36.4 points a game. Throwing for 325, running for 127, giving up 16. I want to see those rush yards get up to about 160. You're going to need to be able to consistently run in the SEC play second half of the season. Missouri, 45.2 points a game. Throwing for 256, running for 292, giving up 14.6 points a game. This is a very balanced offense. They haven't really played anyone yet, but that's not their fault. That's the schedule. They've beaten the crap out of the people they played. I think they make this game very competitive. It will probably go down to one final drive. The ball will bounce one way, and I think Bama will ultimately win it in the end. They win 30-27. I'll barely go with that plus 3.5, and I'll go with the over. And in the ACC at 12 p.m. on ESPN, 3-2, the Pittsburgh Panthers. You got to feel bad here for this team. They lost their quarterback. Holstein was having a really good season, transfer from Alabama. Threw for a lot of touchdowns last year. Picked it up right where he left off this year. He's now down, so they're going to be going with the young guy. They'll be playing number 25 Florida State Seminoles, coming off 2 straight losses. They went from top 10 to number 25. They're barely holding on, but they've been putting up a fight. They have a lot to prove here. Look for them to be intent on rebounding with a dominating win. Currently, the Seminoles have a 77.1% chance to win. Pittsburgh, a 22.9% chance to win. FSU, 10.5-point favorites, 57.5 over-under. Pittsburgh is plus 300. Florida State, minus 400. Mike Norvell already surpassed the win total from last season, but him and Malzahn, they want to get that ground and pound working. They're going to be moving. They're going to be moving at a lightning pace here. They're out for revenge. On the other side for Pitt, Goff closing on 200 yards. They have Williams Jr. You have Castellanos doing a little bit of everything for Florida State, throwing the ball, running the ball. 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 picks. Have to keep the turnovers down. Sawchuk closing in on 300 on the ground. They have Robinson. He's their go-to wide receiver. The rest of that wide receiver core really has to step up to help him out. Someone's got to get open down the field. Pitt, they're averaging 41 per game. Throwing for 307, giving up 19.6. Florida State, 46.8 points per game. Throwing for 265, running for 295, giving up 20.8. This is a very balanced team. They throw it, they run it. It's the run game. It's the lightning attack pace. That's what dominates here. They have the depth. They outlast Pittsburgh. They win this one 34-20. They cover the spread, but I'll go with the under. And at 12:45 p.m. on the SEC Network, 3-2 Washington State. You have to feel so bad for this team. They got the Pac-12 got completely dissolved. They have Cam Ward. He got taken away. They had John Mateer. He got taken away. Now they have Potter. This team, they're just hoping for just one thing to bounce their way. They'll be on the road, unfortunately, here. Verse number 4, the Ole Miss Rebels 5-0. This is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, no matter what you say about him, his teams are going to score a buttload of points. Ole Miss, 98.5% chance to win. The Cougars, a 1.5% chance to win. Ole Miss, 31.5-point favorites, 58.5 over-under. Crazy numbers there, but Ole Miss, they are definitely more than capable of racking those numbers up. But don't forget, SEC play is on the horizon. There's no reason to leave those starters in there too long. You don't want to take the chance of anyone getting hurt. Once you get a big lead, get them out, get them rested, get prepared for SEC play. Looking at these two teams, Washington State, 20.6 points a game, throwing for 229, running for 78. That's not going to cut it, giving up 29 points a game. Ole Miss, 40.6 points a game, throwing for 223, running for 208, giving up 18.8. They had a top 10 defense last season. They don't have a top 10 this year, but it is still top 25. That is good enough. The offense looks to be a little more balanced than last year. This is a very competitive team. Chambliss coming in for Simmons, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's a veteran quarterback. Lacey closing in on 500 yards. Wallace closing in on 500 yards. It's Lane Kiffin's team. Ole Miss wins this one 48-13. I think they'll still cover the massive spread, and I'm going to go with the over. The game of the week, CBS, 3:30 p.m. Top 10 versus top 10 matchups. You don't get that out often. You got to savor them. Number 7, Indiana Hoosiers, 5-0. They stopped the Fighting Illini a couple weeks ago, 63-10. They are rolling right now. This is Curt Cignetti's team. All the guy does is win. It's the Fighting Cignettis on the road versus number 3 Oregon Ducks. Very difficult place to play. Eugene, very loud stadium. The fans are going to be rabid. They are pumped up right now. They're 5-0. They're undefeated. They're challenging the Buckeyes for not just the number one spot in the country, but number one in the Big Ten. Oregon, 69.5% chance to win. Indiana, 30.5% chance. Ducks, 7.5-point favorites, 55.5 over under. Indiana, plus 230. Oregon, minus 280. Do not underestimate the Fighting Signettis here. They can score some points. 47.8 points a game. Throwing for 270, running for 268. That's some balance right there. Only giving up 9.6 points a game. The Ducks, 46.6 points a game. Throwing for 264, running for 239, giving up 12.28. No matter whose stats you look at, both these teams are stacked, both them playing really good football. Indiana, Mendoza, the transfer from Cal, 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, only one pick. Hemi closing in on 400, Surratt closing in on 500. And for the Oregon Ducks, Dante Moore looks like the most efficient. Not to knock Nix, not to knock Gabriel, but he's their best quarterback to me since Marcus Mariota. 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, one pick. It's also what he does with his legs, extending plays. Hill closing in on 300, Moore closing in on 300. I'm going to go with the Ducks winning this one. They win it 32-20. I have them covering the spread. I'm going with the under. Keep your eye on this game, but I think Oregon, the way they've been recruiting under Dan Lanning, also the portal work they've done, they have a very deep roster. ABC at 3:30 p.m., one of the best rivalry games in all of college football, one of the best in sports in general. Number 6, the Oklahoma Sooners, 5-0, undefeated. And they got Arbuckle coming over from Washington State. He brought over John Mateer with him. Brent Venables has that Brent Venables defense. They are elite. Top 10 defense. They'll be going up against 3-2 Texas Longhorns, the preseason number 1 team. They've dropped 2 games. They've been booted all the way out of the top 25. Steve Sarkisian, a lot of pressure on him right now. Currently looking at this matchup, Texas, 60.9% chance to win. The Sooners, a 39.1% chance. This line, this spread, it's been moving. When I made my video at the beginning of the week, we had Oklahoma winning it, just to be honest. But Texas was the Vegas favorite. It has shifted. Oklahoma, 1.5-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5. Oklahoma, minus 110. Texas, minus 110. Vegas is letting you know this game is a pick'em. Looking at the team stats here, Sooners, when they have John Mateer's banged up. He runs 20 to 25 times per game. He's the team's rushing guy. He takes care of the entire rushing attack. In doing so, he got hurt. He might play this game, might not. We don't fully know right now. But Vegas is starting to lean towards him playing. That's why the line's moving. Oklahoma, 33.8 points a game. Throwing for 278. Running for 137, only giving up 7.2 points per game. Texas and Arch Manning, they just can't buy first downs right now. They're averaging 29.6, throwing for 247, running for 173, giving up 12 points a game. A top 5, top 3 overall roster in the nation. You had Arch Manning coming in here, massive expectations, has not lived up to it. He's the leading rusher through 5 games, 160 rushing yards. Where's the running game for the Longhorns? This is year 3 for him in this system. He should be a lot better than that. Look for Oklahoma here. I still think they're going to win it, whether John Mateer plays or not. Give me Oklahoma winning 24-17. I have them covering the spread. I'm going to go with the under. ACC Network, 3:30 p.m., 2-4 Virginia Tech. Brent Pye has been fired. How do the Hokies respond second half? On the road in Atlanta, number 13 Georgia Tech, 5-0. Very shaky win the other day, beating Wake. Took overtime, very questionable game, but sometimes that happens. They got the win, they put it behind him. Sometimes you don't have your best stuff. They still found a way to win the game. The Yellow Jackets, they come into this matchup, 79.8% chance to win. The Hokies, a 20.2% chance. Georgia Tech, 14.5-point favorites, 54.5 over under. Virginia Tech, plus 425. Georgia Tech, minus 650. Heavy favorites here. The Yellow Jackets, 37 points a game, throwing for 240, running for 232, giving up 21.2 points a game. Virginia Tech, 23.5 points a game, throwing for 203, running for 155, giving up 28.3. The thing about Georgia Tech, they are extremely run-centric, and they have the weapons to just dominate at the line of scrimmage. Haynes King, he will run a lot every single game. If they need him to run, he's going to run 10 straight times. He doesn't care. He'll put his shoulder down. He'll truck people. He'll be the leading rusher. He is the leading rusher, almost 400 yards rushing, 7 rushing touchdowns. He missed the game, but he has 800 passing yards. 3 touchdowns, 1 picks. They also have Haynes at the running back position, one of the best running backs in the ACC. They're the more talented team. They have to rebound after that Wake Forest loss. Give me Georgia Tech winning this one, 32-17. Georgia Tech covers the spread, the minus 14.5, but I'll go with the under. 3:30 p.m. on Peacock, 4-2, the NC State Wolfpack. The Wolfpack not having a bad team so far this season. They'll be on the road versus number 16, the Notre Dame, Fighting Irish, 3-2. Marcus Freeman's team, they know they have zero room for error. They cannot afford to drop one more game. They have 2 losses for a total of 4 points versus 2 teams in the top 5 currently. Very difficult opening to the schedule, but from this point out, really, beat. Besides the Trojans, it is free sledding. They can gain a lot of momentum. If they win 10 games, you're not going to keep the Irish out of the playoffs. Notre Dame, 92.3% chance to win. NC State, 7.7% chance. The Irish, 23.5-point favorites, 60.5 over under. NC State, plus 1,100. Notre Dame, minus 2,500. Heavy favorites here. No one's giving the Wolfpack a shot. Looking at team stats here, the Wolfpack, 33.8 points a game. Throwing for 282, running for 165, giving up 25 a game, giving up 243 through the air. And this Notre Dame offense, it is rolling right now. 40.8 points a game. Props to Denbrock. They got it going. 283 passing yards, 179 rushing yards, giving up 23.6 points a game. Defense very shaky the first 3 games. Since then, though, it's been a completely different team. Carr, so efficient, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, 2 picks. You got Bailey on the other side, 1,700 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. Smothers closing in on 700 on the ground. They might test this Notre Dame defense, but Notre Dame, their offense, they can shoot it out with anyone currently. They win this one. 44-23. I'm going to go with that plus 23.5, and I'll go with the over. ESPN 3:30 p.m. number 22, the Iowa State Cyclones, 5-1, coming off their first loss of the season. They got a rebound here. They got to get that offense back on track. Rocco Beck, year 3 with this team. We want to see guys score some more points. Matt Campbell usually has a better defense, very disciplined team, but they're still perfectly situated to make a run at the Big 12. On the road here, versus 2-4 Colorado Buffaloes. They don't have Shedeur. They don't have Travis Hunter. They're not scoring like they did in previous seasons, playing very competitive games, very close games, but they're losses nonetheless. Colorado, they have 36.9% chance to win. The Cyclones, 63.1%. The Cyclones, they got to get this win to get it back on track. Iowa State, 2.5-point favorites, 52.5 over under. Cyclones, minus 140. Colorado, plus 120. Right now, looking at these teams, Beck, 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. Hansen closing in on 400. On the other side, Salter, Lewis, they've been shuffling quarterbacks back and forth. We need to see some consistency from the offense. The team stats, Cyclones, 31.3 points a game, throwing for 248, running for 151, giving up 18.2. Colorado, 25 points a game, throwing for 212, running for 144, giving up 24.8. I think Colorado, again, keeps the game semi-close. Iowa State pulls away fourth quarter. They win this one 28-20. They cover the spread, but I'll go with the under. 4:15 p.m. SEC Network, 2-3, the Arkansas State Razorbacks visiting number 12, the Tennessee Volunteers, 4-1. Tennessee finally moved out of that 15 spot. They were number 15 for like 4 or 5 weeks straight. This is Josh Heupel. You know they're going to score some points. Defense, very questionable this season, but they'll just outscore you. On the other side, Arkansas, Sam Pittman's been fired. Bobby Petrino is back. He's calling plays. There's no issue with the Arkansas Razorbacks offense, where everything is setting up for this to be a complete shootout. Tennessee, 82.6% chance to win. Arkansas, 17.4. The Volunteers, 11.5-point favorites, 68.5 over under. Arkansas, plus 360. Tennessee, minus 500. Do not underestimate Bobby Petrino. The guy's been around. He's been coaching football for a while. Tyler Green, 1,400 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks. He has almost 500 yards rushing. He can do everything. He just needs defense to get a stop for once. On the other side, Joey Aguilar fits this scheme perfectly. 1,500 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 5 picks. They have Bishop. Brazel II, almost 600 receiving yards. Very talented, very large wide receiver core. Look at team stats here. Razorbacks, 37.4 points per game. Throwing for 3-0 run. Running for 214, giving up 30. They give up a lot of points. Tennessee, 51 points a game. Top 5 offense in the nation. Throwing for 337. Running for 199. That's almost 600 yards of offense per game. Giving up 29 points a game. Both them giving up practically about 30 per game. So there's going to be some fireworks. Tennessee ultimately wins 44-33. I'm going to go with the plus 11.5, but I'll go with the over. Moving over to the SEC, 7 p.m. on ESPN, a very under-the-radar competitive game. 2-3 Florida Gators coming off of beating Texas, booting them out of the top 25. That was the Florida team a lot of people expected to see to start the season. They already have 3 losses here, guys. They only have 1 SEC loss currently, and if they can keep DJ Lagway hot, if that defense can continue to play at a top 20 level, and if Billy Napier continues to run ball, he's been very hesitant to, do not underestimate the Gators here, although they have the most difficult schedule I've ever seen in my life. They'll be on the road versus number 5, the Texas A&M Aggies, 5-0. College Station, very difficult place for the road team to play. This is Mike Elko's team. They're disciplined, they're hard-nosed, and they're scoring some points. They have a 73.9% chance to win. Florida, 26.1. The Aggies are 7.5-point favorites, 46.5 over-under. Florida's plus 230. The Aggies are minus 280. Looking at these overall team stats here, the Gators, which version of Florida shows up? They're averaging 23.4, throwing for 224, running for 130, giving up 17 points a game, which is really good considering the fact that for the majority of the season, the offense could not buy a first down. The defense still continued to hold up. They would not break. The Aggies 34.8 points a game, throwing for 271, running for 195, giving up 21 points a game. You have Reed here for the Aggies. He's doing everything. 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 picks. Moss is healthy. Reed can run. Craver, 557 yards on 30 receptions. That is a crazy average. On the other side, DJ Lagway, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. The key, keeping the turnovers down. Ball almost 400 yards. They have Brown. I'm going to go with Florida. Their defense keeping this game extremely close, but they lose it on the road. The Aggies win this one 24-16. I'll go with that plus 7.5, and I'll go with the under. This next matchup has potential upset written all over. It is glaring. It is flashing. Be very careful with this one. 7:30 p.m. on Fox, the Big 12. 4-2 Kansas Jayhawks. This team started out last season top 25. They laid an egg out the gate. Daniels, though, playing. This is the best start to a season of his career. He's a very good quarterback, throwing the ball, running the ball. They're scoring some points. They're doing it efficiently, keeping the turnovers down. On the road here, versus number 9, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, 5-0 undefeated, top 10, the number 1 transfer portal class. This team, this is an air raid team. They can throw the ball. They can run the ball. They're good at the line of scrimmage. They have a great defensive line, great offensive line, and they're also playing defense. Who would have ever known? Texas Tech, give this team some props. What a season for them. The Red Raiders, 14.5-point favorites, 59.5 over on Texas Tech is minus 700. Kansas is plus 450. Looking at the playmakers here, Daniels for Kansas, 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 2 picks. Henderson Jr. closing in on 500. Texas Tech, they've had 2 quarterbacks this season. Morton, Hammond. If Morton gets hurt, Hammond more than capable of coming in here and throwing for 500 yards. Morton so far, 12 touchdowns, 3 picks, 1,400 yards. Dickey closing in on 400. Eakin closing in on 400. Looking at team stats here, Kansas 35 points a game. Throwing for 262, running for 173, giving up 20.5 points a game. Texas Tech, 48.6 points per game, throwing for 364, running for 205. Texas Tech can run the ball. Great stuff. They're giving up 11.2 points per game, only 65.6 rushing yards given up. Texas Tech is owning the line of scrimmage. The Red Raiders are built to fight in the trenches. I think they win this one, but like I said, upset alert potential here. Texas Tech, they've been cruising so far. Kansas might be prepared for the upset. Red Raiders win this 42-24. I have them covering the spread, and I'll go with the over. 7:30 p.m. on ABC. Number 10, the Georgia Bulldogs, 4-1, visiting 3-2 Auburn Tigers. Don't underestimate Auburn here. They are at home. The fans are going to be rabid. Hugh Freeze, a lot of pressure on him. We need to see some more from the offense here, especially when it comes to the passing game. They've not been able to pass the ball the entire time he's been there as the head coach. Tigers, 35.5% chance to win. The Bulldogs, 64.5% chance. Georgia, 3.5-point favorites, 46.5 over-under. Bulldogs are minus 165. The Tigers, plus 140. Looking at the playmakers here, Stockton for Georgia, 1,000 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's a true dual-threat quarterback. He will run. I want to see a little more from the passing game here. Sometimes you got to step up. Bowen's closing in on 310. Colby Young closing in on 250. I don't like Bobo's offense, but it is Kirby Smart's offense technically. Sometimes they get a little too conservative when they have the lead. But Georgia, a top 3 overall roster. They are loaded. Kirby Smart, one of the best coaches in the country. For Auburn, Jackson Arnold, 846 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. I got to see him throw the ball more. They have to push the ball down the field. If you let him, he will take off every single possession. This is not a triple option team. Sometimes you got to push it down the field. Cloud, 403 rushing. Singleton Jr., very talented wide receiver core. They just haven't been utilized so far. But Auburn does have a very good defense. Bulldogs, 34.6 points a game. Throwing for 232. Running for 207, giving up 18.4. Auburn, 27.6 points a game. Throwing for 173. Running for 169, giving up 16.4, which is really good because they don't have a good offense. I think Auburn at home, with their defense, they could potentially pull off the upset here. I think Georgia has just enough to outlast them. They win it 28-23. They cover the spread. I'll go with the over. NBC, 7:30 p.m. Number 15, the Michigan Wolverines, 4-1 record on the road versus 4-1, the USC Trojans. USC would love to win this one, get some momentum, get back in the top 25. Lincoln Riley, in my personal opinion, the best offensive mind in all of college football. They have a 68.5% chance to win. The Wolverines, Sharon Moore's back, a 31.5% chance to win. Trojans are 2.5-point favorites, 56.5 over-under. USC minus 135, Michigan plus 115. I'm actually very surprised that Vegas has the Trojans as the favorite. I thought Michigan, with their physicality, whenever they play these type of high-flying teams, they always force them to play their style of football, physical trench warfare style football. They always dictate the pace and the type of game. But this is Lincoln Riley, and Mayoff's having a really good season. Right now, 1,600 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, one pick. They have Jordan on the ground closing in on 550. They have Lemon. They have Lane, one of the best wide receiver cores in the nation. Lemon just a couple yards shy of 600. And on the other side, the true freshman Underwood here on the road, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's also running. He looks very mature for his age. He's had some ups. He's had some downs, but for Christ's sakes, he's a true freshman. Haynes closing in on 700. He is averaging like 7 yards per category. That can't last forever, but so far so good. Almost 700 total rushing yards. They have McCauley. Right now, looking at the overall team stats, Wolverines 32.8 points a game, throwing for 201, running for 238, giving up 16.2 points a game. Really tough physical team. Trojans 48.4 per game, throwing for 338, running for 227, giving up 23 points a game. This is a tough one to call. I was surprised that Michigan wasn't the favorite, but either way, give me USC squeaking out the win here. It's a close physical one. They win it in the fourth quarter, 33-27. They cover the spread. I'll go with the over. The SEC Network, 7:45 p.m. The 3-2 South Carolina Gamecocks started out like top 10 when the preseason poll came out. Not the best start of the season. Sellers hasn't been the most accurate. He's been banged up, but he's been overthrowing guys, underthrowing guys. The offense not quite where it was last season, but still very talented team. They have a very difficult remaining portion of their schedule. They are going to be upsetting someone. It's just, where's the upset going to happen? They're on the road versus the 4-1, number 11 LSU Tigers. This offense, not good so far this season. Nussmeier, they can't throw the ball. They can't run the ball currently, but their defense, top 15 in the nation. Year 2 with Blake Baker, they are getting after it. The defense is carrying this team, but the offense, at some point, you got to step things up. Right now, LSU, 9.5-point favorites, 78.9% chance to win. South Carolina, 21.1% chance. The over-under is 43.5, and you have South Carolina plus 280, LSU minus 360. Looking at Sellers, he's closing in on 900 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Faison, almost 200 yards. Jacobs, almost 400 yards. Nussmeier, 7 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's a veteran quarterback. I want to see some more from him. Durham, 213 yards. Their best win was versus Clemson, and that's not an impressive win anymore. Very talented offensive roster. You just want to see them turn things on. For the Gamecocks, are averaging 24.8, throwing for 209, running for 100, giving up 18.8. Solid defense. Good front 7. LSU, 27 points a game. Throwing for 259, running for 105. They have to get the rush yards up. If you can run the ball, it's going to open up the play action. It will help out the passing game. They're only giving up 12.2 points a game. I think this is a low-scoring game, but LSU squeaks it away. They are at home. They win 23-17. I'll go with that plus 9.5, and I'm going to go with the under. 8 p.m. on ESPN2. Number 18, the BYU Cougars, 5-0. This was a team won 10 games last year. They lost Retzlaff the week before the season started. Bachmeier's come in. This team has never looked back. They can run the ball. They're playing good defense. They'll be on the road here versus 4-1, the Arizona Wildcats. Right now, Arizona, and they have Fafita back at quarterback. Seems like this guy's been there forever. Having a good season, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 picks. Mahdi running for 400. Watley almost 350. Bachmeier, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. Martin closing in on 500 on the ground. Roberts almost 400 through the air. Looking at team stats here, BYU 38.4 points a game. Throwing for 218, running for 234. That's what they did last year. They are running it. They are controlling the time of possession, controlling the clock, only giving up 12.2 points per game. The Wildcats, 33.2 points a game. Throwing for 286, running for 144, giving up 15.6. This is 2 solid defenses, but I think BYU will do just enough to walk away with the win. I have them winning this one 24-17. I have them covering the spread, and I'm going to go with the under. And our final game of Week 7, another really difficult one, 10:15 p.m. on ESPN, some Big 12 football. Number 21, Arizona State Sun Devils. They lost that one to Mississippi State. They are on the run back up, back in the top 25. They're 4-1. They have momentum. Sam Levitt playing really good football on the road. Verse 4-1, the Utah Utes. Kyle Whittingham, the second longest tenured coach in the country, and he finally has an offense this season. Utah, 69.7% chance to win. Arizona State, 30.3% chance. You have the Utes coming in here, 5.5-point favorites. A 48.5 over-under. Arizona plus 180. Utah minus 215. Kyle Whittingham versus Dillingham. It's going to be a fun matchup. The old guy versus the young guy. 2 talented teams. 2 teams that are still in the running to potentially win the Big 12. Levitt closing in on 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's been running a lot this season. It's really helped out the offense. Brown closing in on 506. He's not Scottaboo, but he's holding up his own. Tyson, a true number one wide receiver, 500 yards receiving. Dampier, what he's done for Utah's offense, they finally have a modern offense this year. 1,100 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's also scrambling, running all over the place. Parker, 280 on the ground. Davis, 350 through the air. The team stats here, Arizona State, 29.2 points a game. Throwing for 208, running for 217, giving up 21.2, only giving up 78.2 on the ground. Utah, 39 points a game, throwing for 227, running for 243, giving up 14.6 points a game. A lot of people thought they had the number one offensive line in the country. If they can exert themselves second half, they're going to make a nice run through the Big 12. Give me Utah winning this one. 27-13. I will go with the plus 5.5, and we'll just barely go with the over. Guys, that's our best bets on all of our Week 7 games. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, drop them below. Let me know who you think is going to win these matchups. Drop it in the comment section. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. Of course, as always, thank you for watching.